Hello and welcome to a brand new edition of the Triple Trio with the best form analyst in Hong Kong and Clint Hutchison and the Hall of Famer in Raymond Shane Dye. Lots to get stuck into with the Triple Trio. Hutch, with two very special guests as well. Welcome, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Richo. I can't wait for this weekend. It is a feast of racing all around the globe and hopefully we can find plenty of winners and there's plenty to talk about.
There certainly is. And the Golden Boy, welcome to you. Up and about, ready for a big day on Saturday, Whirlpool, and also Sunday at Sha Tin.
Went to bed at about 3 o'clock, I think, this morning, and I was up at 5 working, so I've only had a couple of hours sleep. But there's so much racing, but not only is there so much racing, it's great racing.
You wouldn't know. He's looking magnificent.
He doesn't need sleep.
He doesn't, mate.
No.
Bing, he is ready to go.
I'm about 3 or 4 hours a day normally.
Oh, you are a freak. And we are joined by two very, very special guests. Andrea Atzeni and Ben Thompson, part of our team today. Andrea, brilliant to see you, mate, and Ben as well.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you part of our team. I mean, we're looking forward to Caulfield Cup down. That's what you're excited about, both of you.
Yep, correct. It's nice to be back in Australia, obviously Melbourne now, and looking forward to a few spins tomorrow and obviously the Caulfield Cup.
How was the flight, Ben?
It was good, very smooth. It's easy when you're going overnight, so it's less temptation to eat and snack when you're going overnight and you can sleep.
Yeah, welcome back to Australia, mate. Good to be home.
It is. Any excuse to come back is always nice, especially for a big day. So, as Andrea said, it's great to be here and hope it's a good day.
And you brought the weather with you. There's a little rain around in Melbourne today. That's a little annoying.
Yeah, plenty of it. So it's rather be wet today than tomorrow. So hopefully it's getting the ordinary weather out of the way.
Now, you both know, because I know you're huge fans of the show, this is what this genius did last week.
Awesome Treasure, it should have won last start for sure. It's got gate 10, the 10 pounds off is just enormous.
But Awesome Treasure is well clear and Awesome Treasure is going to speed away and score. Awesome Treasure first.
You know, Lucy in the Sky is going to take a lot of beating, Richo. It's not a filly for those in Australia, it's a gelding.
It's Lucy in the Sky, half a length clear. Prince of Porting across to Universe getting chopped out. It's Lucy in the Sky in front and Lucy in the Sky wins.
I like Galaxy Patch.
They have been overtaken by Galaxy Patch, who has rounded them up. There's a lineup for the Miners. Geez, a good horse. And Galaxy Patch wins the Sha Tin Trophy.
I think he's got his foot on the till. This was a pretty good form race too, in my opinion. So the replay we just watched.
Stella Swift, it's Jubilant winner. Stella Swift, it's a ping pong go in the table tennis, but Stella Swift too good.
Let's look back on last week, and we'll be going through all of some key betting races in Sha Tin. Also go through all the rides of our special guests, and then, of course, from a global point of view, we'll look forward to Caulfield Cup Day.
Yeah, and what a day it will be, and we've got some weather conditions to talk about as well, but we'll get there a little later.
And we're going to add in Brenton Avdulla is going to join us as well, and also the Idol. Most importantly, I think our special guests have demanded they leave by the time the votes come in for Shane Dye for the Idol. But first, let's have a look at Sunday at Sha Tin. Race number 7, we see the return of California Spangle.
Yeah, the Premier Bowl, it's a ripping race. Look, Karis Rising is going to be very popular. I got him about $1.80. California Spangle is good, fresh and can carry weight, so I think the market's going to respect him to a point. I've got Beauty Waves in the mix. That horse is flying and actually meets Karis Rising worse at the weights, believe it or not. Invincible Sage has to be there or thereabouts once again, but this was the performance, Shane, from Karis Rising earlier in the season, carrying the weight, and it was quite a win. If he really stamped himself as probably Hong Kong's leading sprinter following this.
Well, this horse has never had an easy race, Clint. If you go even in Class 4 when he arrived, they're really strong. He's only been beat twice, and when he got beat by a nose, of course, in very strong races. He's done nothing wrong. He's the horse to beat. He should be winning. He's going to get a good run. He's going to be, well, he's got gate 9. He could be 3 deep, but Sack will push forward. And he's on top for me.
Andrea, you rode lucky with you in that race as well. I mean, what do you make of his chances on the weekend, and how do you think he's going?
He's going quite well, actually. He obviously had a wet track the last day, which he doesn't like. He's a horse that wants top of the ground, and he came on the race very well. He's got a tricky draw. We've drawn a little bit wide in 12. He's going to get his ground. He's got a lightweight, so hopefully he can run well. It was a solid horse last season.
Yeah, he was.
What are you expecting from California Spangle?
I think California Spangle has to be respected a lot. I mean, the fact is that he actually flies fresh, Shane, doesn't he? And you know, and his trials have been good, and we know he's travelled a lot of different places. He's going to bounce, put himself on speed. I mean, make his own luck. There is a little bit of pressure in the race.
He has to give £7 to Karis Rising.
I don't think he can at this stage with a race fit horse. But I'll tell you what, he's a tough one because we know he's a Group 1 performer, Shane.
He definitely is, but the problem is you got to, of course, guess going through this, Harmony and Blessed is going to jump and run, of course. Now, does he attack him and take him on or sit outside of him? That's debatable. So there is going to be pressure in the race.
And he's popular, though. So, I mean, the price that you've marked Karis Rising, do you see you going to get to that price?
I don't think that California Spangle can be too big because he does have that Group 1 form and he has carried weight. I mean, the interesting one's Beauty Waves. I might push him out a little bit more. But no, I think on the day you'll see Karis Rising in odds on. It's a matter of what quote he gets to. But I don't think they'll let California Spangle get out too big.
We'll go back to race number 5. How do you see the 5th here over 1,600 metres?
I'll tell you what, this meeting at Sha Tin is very, very competitive. At nearly every race, there's a host of chances. I've gone with Patch of Theta, who's second up. Karma trialled really well recently. Chu Spirit probably had an excuse the other day with a sort of a muddling run race, and Star Contact with a lightweight could run a bit of a race. But Shane, I thought that Patch of Theta was good here. The leader obviously won the race and got a nice time of it up on speed, and Patch of Theta, just had to sort of, probably just peak late in the run first up perhaps.
He went really well, Patch of Theta. If you watch the race, after about 200 metres, he was only a couple of lengths off the leader, and which won the race, but then he lost his position and he ended up about 5 lengths behind him. So to only get beat ahead, it was a very good run. He goes to the 1,600 now where he hasn't been tested, but he should run it. He's going to be hard to beat, but I thought I've got Karma on top. I thought it trialled very well. Its first up run was good, and second up, Karma goes really, really well.
And Vincent Ho's in good form, and Casper Founds ditto.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of them are firing at the moment, and boys, it's another race, Ben, where it looks really competitive on paper, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I think, as you said, probably leading into that race, every race is really competitive this weekend, and not only competitive, they're stacked with quality. So a hot race, and it does present as a really good card Sunday.
Nice replay for you to watch there, Andrea, with Patch of Theta running second.
Yeah, that was a very good run. Obviously, my horse was having his first run, and 1,400, he first up fresh. He always does a good record, but can't take anything away from the second horse. I think he's got a very good chance on Sunday.
And Andrea, you're surrounded by Aussie accents. Patch of Theta's going to be ridden by Hong Kong Huey Bowman. You're alongside Ben at the moment. We're talking about Zach. You add in Brenton Avdulla. How's your Aussie accent coming together after all this?
Well, maybe I need to come here more often, but there's plenty of horses in Hong Kong, so it's easy to pick up.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So race number 5, you're with Patch of Theta?
Yeah, I am.
We go to race number 10. Can you finish us in style here? Because it's tough.
Well, we hope we can finish in style, Richo. But look, this horse won first up. You mentioned Hong Kong Huey. Can't make the weight for this horse. Of course, Luke Ferraris will be on board for Casper, but gee, there's a host of chances here. Prestige always won well first up. He got, I think, a nice ride the way the race was run. King Miles comes through the same form, but I think just probably needed the run the other day. Leslie was unlucky. Look at the horse in the pink back on the inside, and he's an interesting runner. He'll go back again from the gate, but he was held up here. Shane, King Miles, I thought he had a nice run. Vincent in those red and white colours down the centre of the track now just presents him. He quickened, and then I thought just tired on his run.
He needed the run. I thought he knocked up. I've got Leslie on top in this race. His runs second up are extraordinary when you go back and watch them. It always goes well. He's a bit underrated, Leslie. He always goes out at good odds. I've got him in front from King Miles, and then you can take anything. I think it's a pretty open race, though. there's a lot of chances in the race.
Now, Leslie, for the Golden Boy, I don't know where you rated Leslie. It's not in your top 4 here, Hutch.
Well, I could have had about 8 picks in the race,
that's
to be
the
honest.
nature of it,
I think it's $5 the field for me or something at this stage. But, Andrea, you rode Simple Hedge first up. Probably, what were your thoughts there? Might just need it?
Yeah, well, he's having his first run back. It was a good last run, sort of back end of the season. 70's first run, and he, like you said, it's a very open race.
Yeah.
But he's in with a chance too.
Ben,
he's got a good draw.
And Ben Oriental Smoke as well. This is obviously a trial with green and white. I thought he trialled really well. He's going to be at the pointy end. But Oriental Smoke's an interesting runner, Ben, because, gee, his good's very good, but his bad's not.
It's feast or famine, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. What did you make of his chances?
He'd put it this way, he definitely wouldn't come as a shock if he was to break through at least. It's his 3rd run for the season. He held good residual fitness from running to the latter part of last season, and he really hit form getting to the bottom of Class 3. So his first up run was over 1,000 metres, which was only his 2nd start in a long career over that trip, so I don't think we could have expected much. Last time he drew wide, rode him not to his pattern, which is to go forward, just given we thought it'd be very vulnerable to push from out there, and he takes on a similar field. The Prestige always doesn't have the kind draw that it had last time. And I think us from barrier 3, if we can step well with a nice light weight, he can be right there with the right run.
Oh,
Good value chance there.
That's a terrific. So consider that for your multis. We're going to take a very quick break. We'll come back and analyse all the rides from our very special guest today. Hope you're enjoying the triple trio. Our very special guests, Andrea Atzeni and also Ben Thompson. And Andrea, let's start with your rides on Sunday. And we'll go back and have a look at your Saturday rides in the Caulfield Cup. You jump on a plane that night and you arrive in Sha Tin, and by gee, you got a big full book of rides.
Yeah, busy day on Sunday. Obviously, we're flying at 12:45 to tomorrow night. Get there Sunday early morning, and 9 rides and. And a lightweight too, so it's a busy day of racing.
Couple of rides for Dave Eustace. I know you know David well from back in the UK, so he's doing a great job from a handful of runners, and you're riding a couple for him on the weekend.
Oh, David is doing brilliant. He obviously had his first winner, which I missed, but he's also running well. And Fashion Legend's got a very good chance, I think. He's got a bit of a tricky draw. He's down in class, but he's had 2 trials. He's been trialling quite well, and I really like him. I think he's a horse that He'll take a run, but he's ready to go.
Yeah, a horse that you had a lot of success on last year, I give. He's fresh up. How do you think he'll go?
Oh, he's a brilliant horse. Like you said, there's a horse I had a lot of fun with him last season. I had 4 winners. He's a very straightforward horse. He goes up there with the pace. He's having his first run, and I haven't actually sat on him this season yet, but it's always nice to get back on him. And
tough race, Harold Wynn, that's in, but he was pretty tough last start himself, I thought. Harold Wynn, I mean, it was a bit messy mid-race, wasn't it? Obviously, I think Brittany kicked up mid-race, Awesome Treasure, and then it sort of put you in a tricky spot, but he toughed it out well.
Correct, obviously Awesome Treasure, and then when he won his next start. But Harold Wynn, I like the horse. He hasn't got the best of draws. He's a horse that he likes to be close to the pace, and I think getting his head in front once, hopefully he's done his confidence good, and he's a horse that took a bit of time for him to sort of put it together for the penny to drop, and actually sat on him quite a few times, and physically he's done well, mentally he's a lot better, and hopefully it's a competitive field. I think it could be competitive again.
I caught up with Dave Eustace on Tuesday up in Sydney at the Ready2Race Sale, and he was saying how important it is to make sure he hits the ground running. So only presenting horses when they're really ready. And he's only had 8 runners or something like that.
Yeah, they've all run well.
They've all run really well. Have you noticed that with Dave?
Oh, for sure. I've done a lot of groundwork with his horses.
With those,
obviously since David moved to Hong Kong, I've been doing a lot of work for him. And like I said, unfortunately, I couldn't ride most of them because one thing or another, choosing the wrong one, I've already been booked. But anyway, everything he's run was obviously his first winner at a few places, and even the horses I ran at Happy Valley on Wednesday night both run very well. So, so far so good.
Already booked. So just for our Australian audience in particular, educate us. How far in advance are you booking your rides?
It all depends. It depends what sort of ride they offer you. If I think it's a ride that's good enough to confirm couple of weeks in advance, because some trainers could ask you 3 weeks before the horse runs, and which is a long time before a race. But if I think it's a good ride, I try to take it and confirm it. But a lot of the times it can happen that you take a ride, you think it's a good ride, but all of a sudden a week later or maybe the next day you get offered a better ride, which you can't take it. There's not a rule to say that you can't take another ride, but I stick to my wherever I confirm. Yeah, I've never changed, never tried to.
Richo's usually booked months ahead. We've got to book it a long way ahead.
Romantic Warrior available for you on training. Oh, look, I'll just check to see what I'm available. What else is in that race? I'm available.
May I say, if Richo gets a better offer, he jumps ship very quickly.
Hang on.
Loyalty zero. Loyalty zero right over
Joking,
here.
Golden Boy. Mate, I found you doing nothing, mate. Talking about loyal. You're kicking the can down the street, mate, moving house. I've looked after you. Benny Thompson, let's talk about your rides on Sunday, mate. What can we get excited about? You've got 5 rides.
Yeah, I think my best comes in race 6. New Future Folks. He's had 2 starts, been great in both of them. He's second up. It's another really competitive race. He runs into Harold Wynn and Courier Aladdin, who was really impressive on debut.
Great trial. This was a good run though. Did he just feel it a bit late, Ben, from New Future Folks?
Yeah, and I think like immaturity sort of really come to the fore. He hit the front, consequently gave the winner had the perfect run on our back. But as he did sort of hit the front, he wanted to lay in, and a long way off the rail, it gave him plenty to stargaze at. So he has the addition of cheek pieces, winkers, which I think will be a good one. And albeit we've drawn barrier 10, the 2 to beat have drawn 13 and 14. So hopefully he's shown tactical speed. Like last time he jumped from 10 of 10 and was 3rd pair back, and I think second go at 1200. And with that gear change, we can see a better version of him.
Yeah, it's an open race, Shane. I mean, you've got Blazing Wind in there. You've also got Patch of Time. King Oberon won't be a million miles away. So they're all sort of young, progressive horses. And we spoke about the trial of Courier Aladdin. He went exceptionally well.
I was about to say to Benny, if he thinks the 2 that are the ones to beat have drawn 13 and 14, he's forgot the one that's drawn gate 1, Blazing Wind. He's going to be very hard to beat. He can race a little bit closer. It's just a matter of him getting out. He's improved. But definitely New Future Folks, what I'm looking at's got a very good chance. He's in my top 3.
And you've had a bit of success with Michael Chang. He's been a good supporter of yours, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. And in those colours of New Future Folks, Mr. So, he's been a good supporter of mine. We joined for a winner last Sunday, Forever Folks. So hopefully we can keep having luck in the colours.
Yeah.
Tell us about So We Sing in race number 9.
Yeah, a horse that's familiar to Australian viewers. He ran 4th in the Victoria Derby behind Riff Rocket last year, trained by Trent Bassett and Natalie Young.
We've just got a Group 1 Goldmine profile on him, Ben. Sorry to interrupt you, but this is just a horse that's obviously going to get over a bit of ground. He's by the Autumn Sun, and as we know with our great friends and supporters at Group 1 Goldmine, they give us a little bit of an idea with the impact analysis and the pedigree. But this is a horse that they'll be hoping to step up and trip. Seemed to go okay in a trial.
He did. His trials have been good. His latest one was over 1700 at Happy Valley. He's ran into, in that trial was Romantic Warrior and Massive Sovereign, so no better yardsticks really to see how he's going. But I like that he's finished sort of middle of the pack, under a bit of encouragement, but definitely not at the bottom of him. So he's obviously at a mile on Sunday, and he's at the top of Class 3. But I think it's a really good kick-off point. He didn't race below 1400 in Australia, and all reports from his Australian connection was just he always just looked to be an out-and-out stayer. So he's got a good base there to hopefully run well. From a nice soft draw, just be good to see him heading the line on Sunday.
You've been an opportunity to ride in some great races in Australia. What's it like in Hong Kong, mate? You feel settled in now?
Yeah, I do. It's very much, it come very quickly. When we first chatted on the show, go over there and settle in. Now I feel like now that I've started a season, from the start of the season, sort of just to guess a bit more or better prepared what's coming. And the scheme of things, I've been there 5-10 minutes, so I'm sure I'm going to keep getting better and work out how to, operate there in a better way. But it's an amazing place, and we can establish. If I can establish myself there, it's obviously something I'm really after.
Our special guests are here in Australia because, from a global racing point of view, they're riding in the Caulfield Cup, and that's where we go now. Global racing, the World Pool, it is an incredible day in Australia and then rolling into the UK, and the World Pool will cover it all. So at Randwick, the Sydney Stakes, into the Everest, the Silver Eagle, and the Caulfield Cup, and then you roll back to Sydney for the King Charles and then the World Pool Handicap. And then you keep going into Group 1 racing on Champions Night. Night from an Australian point of view, but day, of course, in the UK for Champions Day on a wet track. So there's so much to get excited about. What a day for World Pool.
Well, Shane hasn't had any sleep this week, and he won't get any this weekend either. I can tell you, he'll be awake a lot.
Yeah, it is an absolute beauty. So, Golden Boy, get ready for an incredible day. Our special guests today are riding in a Caulfield Cup. You've been there and done it, Shane. It's a very unique race. To educate our audience of the key ingredients.
Well, the Caulfield circuit's unusual because it keeps turning. You got a straight run from the 2000 to about the 14 or something. It's straight, but then it goes uphill, it turns, then it turns again, but then you get to the half mile and it's more or less straight from, I suppose, 900 metres or something to about the turn, which is 450 metres. So you can make a run out wide and get up. Like Blake Shin did the other day, he's not covering any extra ground when he went up and around and got to the front on that thing that won the Group 1 race.
Yeah.
It was a great ride, but Caulfield Cup's about getting in somewhere, saving a bit of ground, unless the track's wet. When it's very heavy, the track's better out wide. But last week we saw a big bias towards the inside and leaders. So I don't know how the track's going to ride.
We've got a lot of rain today, haven't we?
Yes,
Richo?
which it required it, to be fair.
So we'll have to wait and see. On the day, they're not predicting as much, but if they get a little bit on the day, the inside might chop away. But I think the track will play pretty fair tomorrow.
And here is the field, and from a Hong Kong point of view, so much representation, whether it be Andrea, Atzeni, of course, Karis, Teetan, Zach Burton, Joe Moreira is going to be there, Ben Thompson as well. So there's a lot to get excited about. Let's have a look at some key lead-up runs, and then we'll get the insight from our special guests in regards to their key chances. Traditionally, we've seen this as a good lead-up race, Hutch, the Turnbull, leading into a Caulfield Cup. Elias was terrific. I think Duke de Sessa on the rails was really good. And down the outside, Joe Moreira's mount in Buckaroo.
Yeah, and I think at the weights, the way it all works out, Joe's really got a great chance on Buckaroo with what he's weighted. It's the Group 1 form. The lion's share of runners come out of that form reference. This is last week, of course, with Denied Knowledge. I don't think conditions will be the same, but look, drops a lot in weight. 50.5 kilos going to have on its back. A couple of them are drawn wide, include LS. They'll work across. There'll be good speed in the early part of the race.
Yeah.
And if that southerly wind comes up, might be a good chance of keep rolling along.
And the horse in 5th position there is Coco Sun, which Karis Teetan's coming over to ride. Now, it plummets down in weight, so she is the South Australian Derby winner, so she will definitely improve. Andrea, you're riding Zadozi for Godolphin. I thought was a superb run in the Metropolitan. You were sitting watching from afar. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought she ran a great race. She obviously just got touched off, giving weights to Land Legend. There was nothing in between them. There was only a nose. So it was a very good run. Looks like she's coming back to her very best. And, we're getting this rain today, which she won't mind. So, yeah, that's a great ride to pick up that weight as well.
And the positive, she gets the trip?
Correct. She gets the trip. She'll go on the ground.
Yeah.
We obviously have to see what the track is going to be like tomorrow, but drawing 10 might not be a bad draw. So hopefully we can get a nice pitch somewhere in midfield. Always have to speak to James, see what he wants me to do. Obviously trying to get to relax, I'd say, and she'll give a good kick tomorrow, hopefully.
Your first ride in a Caulfield Cup. Do you seek advice from others as to how to ride in the race, or you just watch replays? How do you attack it?
Both. I obviously watch replays, and us other jockeys too that I have ridden. I spoke to obviously Bowman today, but I'll give some of the other boys a shout too. But I'm planning to have a walk around the track this afternoon. And just do the full lap, and then obviously I'll have another look tomorrow before racing to see what the ground is like.
She meets Land Legend 3 kilos better off for, basically a couple of centimetres to feet.
Hardly anything in it.
But Land Legend, to be fair, and that's Zach Burton's mount, did a big searching run. So I think both are live chances in this race.
Yeah, there was nothing in between in the last day, but, Land Legend was, I think, obviously my mate, she was giving him a kilo, and then on tomorrow there's 2 kilos difference, I think, or 1.5 or something, But anyway, on weights...
Yeah, it's 3 kilos better off.
Better off.
Sadati, do you know much about it, Ben?
Only probably as much as He possesses quite a bit of X factor, and it's just the unknown. I guess you could say with most Europeans how they are. Obviously, the form's no doubting that around the horses he's run against the best 3-year-olds in Europe, really. Yeah. But how he's acclimatised. I think what does give us confidence is sourced by Australian bloodstock. It's what they're renowned for, sourcing imports, and they've proven to be some of the best at it. And in the hands of Kieran Maher, you really can't really get in better hands. So barrier 2, he's made the field, which it looked sort of touch and go for a little bit. Just needs to run well.
That was Jan Bruegel there.
Yeah, and you know the form quite well from what...
Yeah, he's got rock solid form. He's obviously 15th in the Ep7 Derby, and that run at Goodwood was obviously behind 2 very good horses that obviously the winners coming here for the favourite for the Melbourne Cup, and the second horse ended up winning the Grade 1 in America. It's very good form and is in good hands. I think he's dangerous off of that weight.
Who do you like, Hutch?
I think there's a lot of the field that can't win. I think you can narrow it down. I think Buckaroo's got to be the horse to beat. I think he's got a fantastic chance. I think Land Legend, I think Zardozi I've got as my second pick. You've got to have Elias in the mix somewhere, and I've thrown in, I think, Deny Knowledge. So I reckon you play Buckaroo to win and take those other horses. I think they'll fill the first 3. And just listening to the boys now, I'm wondering if I should have put Sadati in, and that'd be the only other one. I actually think it's not as complex as other years.
Yeah, I think there's about 8 chances, and Sadati is certainly one of those. Golden Boy, what do you think?
Sandozi goes better in Melbourne, likes it wet, good jockey, midfield. It's too strong.
Oh, simple as that.
Might have to add Shane to one of the people that you got to ring on in terms of how to ride it. He might give the instructions as well.
Well, he did give me quite a few tips before I came for the Sydney Cup. I don't know where. Anyway, after the race, I probably did a few things different, but he did give me a few tips before the race to ride round.
That's good.
It ended up in a great result for you. Thanks so much for coming in, team. Good luck walking around the track, checking it all out. Great to see you back home, Ben, as well.
Thanks, Richo. Thanks, Hutchi.
Tomorrow, boys. Good luck.
Thank you.
Brilliant stuff. Shane. A quick break. Looking forward to catching up with Brenton Avdulla. He goes to Sydney to ride Stormboy. We continue on a star-packed show today. It is unbelievable. Brenton Avdulla now joins us. He's just arrived into Sydney. He's riding Stormboy in the Everest. B. Avdulla, bloody brilliant to see you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, guys. Good to be on. So looking forward for a big weekend of racing.
And no doubt good to be back home in Sydney.
Yeah, actually in the new house at the moment. We built this whilst I've been in Hong Kong, so... it's actually nice to be in and get to spend the night here tonight. But, the brother-in-law is looking after it for us. And I'm sure whenever we decide to come back to Sydney, it'll be nice to get back into the house for sure.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong with the brother-in-law involved, mate? How do you line up Stormboy in the Everest?
I think it's a very interesting race this year. Majority of the years you've sort of got, 1 or 2 real standouts and, whether it was a nature strip or so. And I think this year, I just felt a 3-year-old would be a good ride in the race, and I think he's drawn well. If I can get him to step okay, I think he's a live hope for sure.
And that might be the key as well, Brenton. I mean, he has had these barrier manners where he hasn't been great jumping, but it's a race that on paper looks like it's, interestingly for a sort of Australian sprint race, it's not, there's not a lot of sort of normal leaders or speed.
Well, he's the obvious speed, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it's I'm one of those people. Like people are asking me, where would you want to draw? Do you want to draw in? Do you want to draw out? And I'm more relying on what's drawn around me. And I think drawing where he's going to be one of the last in on the inside, with not brilliantly quick horses either side of him. Just might give him that bit of extra room that he can just sort of, if he steps within half, that he can just muster through without sort of driving him mad. To hold a forward position. Obviously, we're going to be positive. He's won a Gain Adrian, so they love to obviously ride the speed. And he absorbs pressure, so I'm sure that'll be the way to go. But if he can just break within half of them and muster through, then I've got no doubt he's going to be right on the speed, and we'll see how we can go from there.
Well, he's seasoned, he's strong, he's fit. he's got a great chance, but it depends on the start. Like, we know he can miss it. And once a horse is like that, they always can. But he's going to jump sometimes. Don't worry about that. When, I don't know. But if he flew the gates for some unknown reason, which he could, and led, and it's a leader's track, he's going to be very hard to run down. Like, he's done nothing wrong so far. His runs have been enormous when he's missed the start. He's used them. He's boxed on. He's got a great chance.
And another 3-year-old that's got a live chance is Growing Empire. If we have a look at the Manicato run, now Growing Empire looked home, got nabbed right on the line. And what also, keep your eye on I Wish I Win, the widest runner, who has sort of crabbed his way around Moonee Valley for 2 runs. So how well's he's going is going to be an interesting query.
Yeah, I personally don't think that the older brigade, the I Wish I Wins, are going quite as well this prep. I think they've just come off a little bit. I think what Brenton said is spot on, that the 3-year-olds, and I think they're a handy bunch of 3-year-olds are coming through. This was just a nothing to learn race. I mean, Bella Nipotina and Giga Kick, it was a 400-metre dash home. You would have liked to have seen them peg back a margin a little more than they did against Airman. But on the day, and even now, it's still a little concerning that just off them, they couldn't, the older brigade couldn't run past a horse like Airman. So I think there's a lot of different ways you can look at it. And Brenton, it's pretty wide open. I mean, you go through the field and it's, you can nearly make a bit of a case for just about every runner.
Well, it's $6 a field.
Yeah, I think it's one of those perfect races that you're going to have, basically, everyone's going to have their own opinion on what's the right form lines. And at the moment, no one's wrong. We'll find out there, obviously, Saturday afternoon. But, if you like that 3-year-old form line, then, fair play. And like I said, a horse, even like a horse like Growing Empire, like he's been to Sydney once and went through an outside fence. Not exactly ideal for going right-handed, but he's obviously a talented colt going, that ran well the other day. There's so many sort of things, and then even the lead-up in Sydney, off those 2 very soft gallops, now they're going to potentially a high-pressure race. So, a lot of variables, and I'm very happy to land on my bloke.
Yeah, so
who do you like in the Everest, Richo? I know which way. I think it's pretty open.
I think of the 3-year-olds, I think Traffic Warden. Warden, I think, can knock off the other 2 3-year-olds. Storm Boy, I've disrespected Lady of Camelot and not even mentioned her, but I do see her as a tier below the Colts. So I think all of the 3-year-olds have got a live chance, but Traffic Warden's the best of those. Who do you like?
I think Sunshine in Paris at the price is the one. I think you're playing in the Whirlpool. But I think that's the way I'd be going. Sunshine in Paris, and those are the Cornellas I'd be going with. What about you, Shane?
I think it's a very open race. I think anything can win. And, Richo, I get very lucky sometimes because I've got my favourite hat here.
Oh, gosh.
And what I do, Richo, I put my hand in like this and I pull a number out. And this is how you find winners and back them.
Right.
What's that?
Number 9.
There you go.
Right.
Growing Empire. That'll do, man. Growing Empire.
They were all number 9 in there.
Yeah.
Look, I filled them up with all numbers.
Yeah, filled them all up with all number 9s.
What's running second, Dicey?
Yeah, go on, pull out who's coming second there, Fancy Pants.
Second?
Yeah. Let me guess, number 9?
Number 6.
Too good. Not bad.
Too quick for you, boy.
Just brilliant stuff. Hey, the King Charles, Group 1, Fangirl versus Pride of Jenny. What do you think?
She's great for racing, isn't she?
Brilliant.
And
well, they both are, to be fair.
The conditions, are going to be pretty good in Sydney tomorrow, I believe, aren't they? I mean, I know they have had a lot of rain this week.
Well, Brenton, tell us. Look out the window.
How's it there at the moment, Brenton? What are we looking like track-wise?
The brother-in-law said it didn't rain too much this morning, so I think they got quite lucky. We'll see. I don't know. It's a bit overcast, but at the moment, it looks okay.
Well, Fangirl, if it's rain affected, it's going to be tough. I mean, you know what you get with Pride of Jenny. I think Pride of Jenny's better on top of the ground too, but they've left it to their own devices a bit too much. It'll be interesting in the race tomorrow to see if they go and put some, someone goes up and puts themselves in the race. I think they're going to have to. I actually think Chalworth's going really well, but she's clearly the horse to beat. I think Fangirl's sort of a bit of a Goldilocks, very talented, but needs needs a lot of things to go her way.
Well, she, Brenton, would appreciate it being really dry, wouldn't she? So she can really accelerate, Fangirl.
Yeah, she's obviously a dynamic sort of mare who, just off a normal gallop, she can be very dynamic. But it's going to be an exciting race to watch. How far does Jenny get out in front, and does someone go and chase her?
Yeah, and that's going to be the query. Is it who's willing to maybe affect their chances?
We're not going to see scenes like we did in the Queen Elizabeth, are there, where they're just.
Well, it needs one jockey to say, I tell you what, I think I need to go and chase her, because everyone else will go, in my best chance, I've got a responsibility for the best possible performance of my horse, and that'll get her out of the comfort zone.
Yeah, but I just think that, you've got to give yourself that chance, and, the fact that someone's got to do it anyway.
I'm proud of Jenny. Are you?
Yeah, I think she's the one to beat, clearly, and as the market has it. I mean, I'll have her on top, and I actually think the Quinellas with Chairwolf, I'm going to go that way.
He's emerging, isn't he?
I like the fact he's hard run mile. It's 2,000 back to 1,600. He's come back really well, this preparation for Joe Pride, and Joe's star we've had a bit to do with as well, Brenton, and he'd be pretty happy with the way that horse is going. Yeah,
Joe's obviously a master trainer. Had a lot of luck with Joe, and got a ride for him in the first there on Saturday, Stockman. So he handles his horses really well. Obviously, I ride a lot for John Size in Hong Kong as well. So definitely two of the best trainers I've ridden for in my time, and Joe does an amazing job with his horses.
Shane, who do you like in the King Charles? Let me guess, number 9.
No, it doesn't need a hat. I don't think they'll let it get away. I think Craig Williams isn't there, and Craig just lets this horse get too far in front. He goes out there to ride his horse the best of its ability, which is totally wrong. You've got to go out there to beat Pride of Jenny. And that's why she's been winning, because they've been letting her get away. They won't let her get away tomorrow. There's no risk. They'll have her in pack. She might be 6-7 lengths in front, but she's not going to be 15 over a mile.
No chance.
They're going to know that she can't get too far away. Clint's horse that he said, Cleo Wolf, or whatever it is.
Yeah, Cleo Wolf, yep.
It's been impressive, its last couple of runs. I've been watching him. I know hasn't been running against a couple of these horses, and he's been running at handicaps. But I think he can handle the weight and the rise up and weight for age. And he's looked very good. And his mile win the other day was just perfect. So I think he's got a great chance.
It's going to be a brilliant race. And, of course, the Whirlpool you can bet throughout. And then continue on at Champions Day at Ascot as well, where you need to be really looking for those rain-affected runners because they've moved to the inner track there because it's so wet in London at the moment. So keep that in mind. Hey, Brenton, while we've got you, keen to see California Spangle back?
Yeah, it's obviously, like I said, a big weekend of racing, and get to return back to Hong Kong to partner him. So very excited. He's seen the trial well. He's in good order. Can't fault him, but obviously a big ask carrying the 135 against some up-and-coming horses. So we'll see how we go on there on Sunday.
He's good, fresh. He can carry weight, but it's going to be an interesting race, Brenton, because Kaiying Rising's that sort of next generation coming through, and you've got to give him 3 kilos or 7 pounds. But California Spangle knows what it's all about. So it's going to be an interesting race. Looking forward to December, irrespective of the result there on the Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. And you look at his record, he's got an amazing record, Spangle. Obviously he had those 4 runs there where he sort of failed sort of early in the season. But you take those out, he hasn't missed top 2 basically all his life. Whatever Tony's decided to run him, and he's always run well. He's got a great 1,200-metre record, great Sha Tin 1,200-metre record. And, you've got to respect him, even where I felt he probably wasn't at his best towards the end of the season. He gave Mugen basically 20 pounds, and it took him the whole straight to run him down. So I think he's he's a very talented horse, multiple Group 1 winner. He never usually runs a bad race. So I think he's going every bit as good as what he was before he went to Dubai. So hopefully he can do that again.
And Fortunate Son looks a good ride for you. I know it's a competitive race. Pray for me, beat him the other day, but you've picked up that ride. Zach rode him the other day. It looks like a nice pickup ride.
Yeah, there's not many that I sort of lost him the other day, and Zach took over, and I was able to get him back. That doesn't happen very often, but look, he's a talented horse. It was a funny run the other day. He was half a length outside the winner, and then somehow 100 metres later he was 3 lengths behind it, and then nearly ran back over it. So he's a horse who's still learning his craft, and I've got no doubt he can win something like this and go further.
Mate, sensational stuff. Good luck tomorrow. We'll be cheering for you with Stormboy.
Thanks, guys.
Great to have Brenton Avdulla as part of our show today. A jam-packed show full of stars, including Nicole Purton with Karis Teetan.
Karis Teetan is a Hong Kong horse racing fan favourite. When he's not on a horse in the saddle though, he trades four-legged horsepower for two-wheeled pedal power. He's going to take me for a ride around Sha Tin to show me the ropes. So Karis, I know this is an obvious question, but why cycling?
Well, I think cycling is such a good sport to, especially in Hong Kong. What I found is why I got into cycling, because I just wanted to get out of the house, get out of the gym, and just go and do a bit of adventure outside.
And what have been the overall benefits that you noticed once you took cycling up?
I definitely think fitness level, I have improved a lot with cycling. Of course, gotten a bit stronger in the legs, and as well as, like I just said earlier, being outside mentally, I just feel like I'm in a better shape than I used to be before.
So when you're out cycling, what are you thinking about?
Of course, for us here in Hong Kong, jockeys, our mind is always busy with what ride we're gonna be getting and all these things. And when you're on a bicycle, the only thing is you're worrying is about being safe on this bicycle. So you're not thinking about anything about who's gonna send you a message or what. So this is why I said to you earlier, it's such a good thing mentally for us jockeys to be outside and being on a bike.
So when you are out cycling, how far are you going?
We'll go, it all depends. If I just want to go for an easy ride, I'll do about 30 kilometers. Yeah, but an easy ride, I will not push too hard. We'll try to keep the heart rate down, just so you don't get too tired.
Okay.
But if I'm going for a nice, long, hard workout and I feel like, just need to lose some weight or so, then I'll try to maybe do like a 60 to 50K ride.
So how long would it take you to do the 50 to 60K?
Yeah, usually about an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. Sometimes when I'm riding along the water here, there'll be a group of cyclists and then I just get on their back and then sort of push me through. And that
you
makes
jockeys are all the same. You've got to race everybody, don't you?
That's it, yeah, you can't help ourselves. So you get on their back and then until the last 100 meters, we just try to beat them.
How's your family life now that you're married and you have a beautiful little girl, Isabel? How's that going for you?
I just feel also Isabel is bringing so much joy into our life. And like yesterday after racing, the only thing I was looking forward to is to get home and see her face. So just show you how much joy she can bring to our life.
Has having a family changed your outlook on your life and your career?
Yeah, I think so. I think it also makes you starting to think a lot about the future instead of just being for yourself. So now it's mostly like, what about Isabel, and in a few years' time, what's going to happen, and what about for me and Xavier, where we're going to live one day, and just a lot of planning. But it's all good stuff, It's all like good, positive planning for the future.
So what would a good season for Karis Teetan look like?
If you could just do better than what I've done last season and improve from some mistake I've done, if I can do better than last season, then that's already a good season for me.
So Karis can't help himself, like I said earlier, has to have a race. All jockeys seem to make life a race. So here we go, we're going to do a 100-metre dash on my Class 5 galloper while he's riding. Who are you riding there, Karis?
Let's call this Mr. Stunning.
Mr. Stunning in front from DB Penn and beat the clock. Mr. Stunning, he's the man. Wins the sprint again for Karis Teetan. It's a case of deja vu.
right.
Yay! How good is he? Right.
Get a breath back.
I knew you took your riding seriously and you look like you're about to step into the Tour de France, but I just flogged you back there, so give me that bike. Come on, you can ride this thing home.
Come on.
You can take take my Class 5 donkey home.
You deserve this one.
Thank you. Oh, how do we do that?
You deserve this
Oh,
one.
okay.
Yeah.
Right, so how does this... Oh, gosh. Oh, I can feel the speed.
Start our form files, Hutch, with the top raider. Who got it this week?
Yeah, it was a good week's race. We had some of the big names out there, and Galaxy Patch obviously posted a good number. So no doubt that it was a very good number for him over the mile. But Jumbo Legend was a terrific performance with a 73. This was the best rated performance at the Valley. What about the sectionals that he closed off in late? It was an amazing, I think, 7th best final 200 off a very strong lead speed. And he was, I think, about 9 lengths off them at the 800. So you don't see too many win from that path. He sat back. He was, this is his style, but it was certainly a good performance. And the number he's put up here has been good, but he's just not an easy one to follow, Shane, because he does get back often and, he doesn't always get circumstances to suit.
Correct. It was quite incredible. It's funny, this track on Wednesday night, it really changed once they rolled it. It was a huge leaders track, and as soon as they rolled it, you didn't want to be on the fence. You wanted to be midfield, back, wide. It just changed. It was incredible.
Yeah, he put up a 73. 78 for Galaxy Patch, and we'll touch a bit more on him a little later, Richo.
Yeah, so 78, but of course we know what his peak is, so we will reference him. Who was sweet in defeat?
Yeah, there were quite a few actually from the week. I thought there were a number of good runs and varying reasons why. But look, this is the moment of the track just coming up after the 200. Another horse has jumped the track. They've pointed this out a few times. 170 metre mark was a play for us, just coming up. And, it's a darker patch. Apparently it'll change when the reseeding comes in with the winter grass. But it cost us with Circuit Jolly. We highlighted on Group 1 Gold Mine as well. Just lost a bit of that momentum. Unfortunate. Yoda's Choice wide without cover. Prince of Porty posted on a limb. That was a big run. Can't Go Wong. Everything went wrong. And Roaring BB. So I thought all of those horses are well worth following. And we're actually going to have a look at a replay. Now, have a look here. Gets crowded at the start, Can't Go Wong. So this puts him on the back foot because instead of settling a pair or two closer, and he was another play for us, actually, but I'll be sticking with this horse because we highlighted him the start before Shane when Alexia Bedell rode him. But he just got put on the back foot here. So he's back effectively second last on the fence. But as you come up here, you'll see that the principals are all starting to stretch away from him. He gets stuck behind a tiring horse. He can't go anywhere again. They put another 3 or 4 lengths on him at this stage of the race, and this is where it gets lost. Just that section there. You see he loses another 2 to 3 lengths. He's back. They're off and gone. Shane, this horse is absolutely flying. He did a great job to get as close as he did at the end of the race, and there was a lot of merit in that run.
I actually backed him because the way the track was, it was on pace from his good gate. I thought he might be running 4th or 5th right there and behind, but unfortunately missed the start. But you're correct, everything you said. I don't need to repeat it, Clint. He's flying.
Yeah, third up. No
Just
doubt
find a race.
couple of the leading jockeys will get on the phone and try and get a ride on Can't Go Wong. Let's hope it goes
available
right.
they are,
Yeah,
I reckon.
exactly.
Also, the jockeys are A for available for votes from the Idol. So, Shane, where do we go for votes for the Idol? Who caught your eye?
Well, Galaxy Patch was a great ride. Why? Because he's not easy to ride. He's really hard. This horse, really hard to ride. This horse can be lost at the start of the race. He can pull hard. So if you dig him or try and let him run too close, he's going to over race. Now, Vincent come out of the gates very softly, got over his neck. But if you watch here, he starts to tug a bit, and you got to get him relaxed. And we've seen him in 1,200 metres, Paul. So he could be running 4th or 5th one day, but the next day he's back last. You got to leave it to this horse. I would always have in the mind to ride him where the horse is telling me he wants to be ridden. And Vincent did a superb job. So he got him to relax early, which was the first thing to do. But then, as you see, he's back one off the fence and he sees Voyage Bubble up here going forward. And because he's travelling so hard, he can now come out 3 deep. There's nothing wrong with being 3 deep on this horse when you're going forward a bit and you're under a hold following Voyage Bubble. It was just perfect, Clint. The whole race was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it was a great ride. It was the perfect scenario for him. They'd be delighted with the return, and he showed once again this powerful turn of foot. Voyage Bubble was fantastic. I wanted to ask you one thing about the start, Shane, because when I watched it and I wasn't sure, I think he actually jumped okay, and I wasn't sure whether or not it was the horse being a little tardy out or it was Vincent actually snagging him at the start. I think Vincent had a game plan here. I want to take it off him early and get him just to drop his head at the tail of the field. I thought he might be leaders back. I'm glad he didn't listen to my instructions because I would have got it horribly wrong. But do you think...
100%.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to interrupt you last week when you said that. And if you don't ride horses like I do, some people don't get it or understand. That horse there could be running 3rd or 4th in a race. But if you do that, you're going to lose him. He's just going to go too hard. So the key is, and not all jockeys would suit that horse, right? He's not easy at the start. So you've got to get over his neck, switch him off. Blake Sheen did a beautiful job in the Derby. He switched him off in the Derby. He got over his neck straight away. And that's why he hit the line so well, because he had him relaxed. But he's difficult to ride. Vincent's handling him very well. And you've got to remember too, Clint, he was first up, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know?
And Shane, you feel free to interrupt and tell me when I'm wrong anytime, my friend.
How come he's reluctant to interrupt you?
No, you can.
He's never reluctant.
I can actually understand what Clint was saying.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm not disagreeing with what he was saying. Have him 4th up there, he can race. But he's not the right type of horse to do that with. Definitely not.
Maybe like Golden 60 in time, they'll be able to be one out, one back, and he'll
in the future.
Yep.
In time, exactly right, Clint.
Yep.
So did Vincent's had a terrific week. He would have been rewarded with a lot of votes.
Yeah, he got 3 because it was a perfect ride. Okay, I had to give Zach a half more than Huey because he rode 4 winners. Now, both of them are riding sensational. One's not better than the other. Zach's not better than Huey, and Huey's not better than Zach. They're just riding superb at present. So he rode the 4 winners, but he had more better rides, so I thought I'd better give him half a point more. Luke had 3 winners, and Luke just doesn't get any opportunities. Have a look at his winners. I know that the 3-year-old, young 3-year-old last week was favourite, but the 2 winners on Wednesday night, he pinged them out of the gates. They both won. Brendan on Winning Dragon gave up the lead on one of Tony's and had him relax, saved the ground and pushed out and changed stick, and it was a good ride. So Brittany got a point on Awesome Treasure. She did nothing wrong, gave it a perfect ride, and plus I backed it, so that was good. And everyone backed it. So we'll give her a point.
Yeah, beautifully done. So there's just a half a vote between the 2 champs at the top at the moment. Zach versus Hong Kong Huey, if you don't mind, with a little gap to Matthew Poon. And, of course, Vincent Ho hits the board hard there. Let's talk about Wonder Bar, Shane.
Yeah, I want to explain something to the Australian people, and who watch the show, they'll find this very, very interesting. He was impressive again. He won easy. But I'm going to put up something here about the punting on the horse. In Hong Kong, what happens is at the start of the day, Chinese love to take multiple bets. So it might be a favourite jockey, a favourite trainer, numbers or whatever, and they multiple up during the day. So if you have a look here, so before the race, he was $1.85. But after the race before, because all the favourites had been winning, there was a multi-bet.
Roll up money.
Roll up of it come to 12.2 million. I did the figures and checked. It was 12.2 million, which is like 2.3, 2.4 Aussie. So that's why he dropped. When that money went in from the previous race, which is always 20 minutes before the start, he dropped to $1.05, right? Now, that's too short. We know he's about an even money chance, right? But this is where Hong Kong's so good, and the tote is so good. So with a minute to go, he's $1.30, and have a look how much money's in the pool, 4.6 million, right? But in the last 1 minute of betting, there's another 3.4 million that have gone on because there's other horses in the race which are overs, and all the computer teams and everyone's backing them. So all of a sudden he goes back out to $1.90, which is quite incredible. And there's over 8 million Aussie dollars in the win pool. So that shows you how big Hong Kong is, and you can get on.
Yeah.
Whereas in Australia, you can't do that. And that's why that pool is so good. It's just sensational. Yeah. And it corrected.
Yeah, it did correct $1.30 once the bigger teams got it out to its
Great
right
insight.
price. A lot of money went back in, and $1.90 much more realistic. It was just ridiculous at $1.30, but all that money to be scooped up with the all-ups. So
that's exactly
that's
right.
what attracts them to play.
Richo, the all-ups, I've got it written down here. There was 12.2 million on the horse going to the last, and those all-ups won back 23,200,000, which is 4.5 million Aussie dollars. So the all-ups actually made a big profit.
Yeah, that's extraordinary, isn't it? And it was a terrific race, wasn't it? A battle between Bottom Up Together and also Wonderbar, and both are worth following, no doubt. A quick break. We'll come back with best bets and a social stable next. Before we get stuck into our best bets from a social stable point of view, the Hong Kong trainers were there in style in Sydney during the week, restocking the cabinet, if you like, buying some new stock at the Ready2Race Sale. A wonderful result, whether it be Dave Eustace, who purchased a Star Turn colt for $500,000, or Ricky Yu, who purchased a Super Seth for $240,000 as well. Casper Founds was busy as well.
All the big names were there.
They were all there. And Douglas White was walking around, and so was Pierre Rong as well.
You were rubbing shoulders with all of them.
No, I wasn't rubbing shoulders. I was just admiring them from afar. But some great work, and they really were. It was a terrific buying bench from Hong Kong, and also the Ready2Race Sale was superb for them, and their race club as well. James Ross was there.
Yeah, they're going to get, the Ready2Runs both in New Zealand and Australia. So well done to Inglis, and obviously a really popular sale for Hong Kongers.
Let's find some best bets. Hutch, your best bet on Sunday?
Yeah, well, look, he tips himself. He'll be short, but I think he'll be hard to beat. And I think Karis Rising, you can put him in a multi, do whatever you want to do. And like I said, I don't think they're going to let California Spangle get out too big. And listening to what Brenton just said on our show, he's going to have some admirers as well. Earlier in the day, I think Super Legends, I know he got a soft lead recently when winning, but look, he's in good form. His sectionals were still strong, and it's a pretty even race, but I think he maps forward, be hard to beat again. So race 4, number 3, Super Legends. But it'll be a good day on the weekend, Shane. I've got a lot some of these races, there's a stack of them that are sort of, a host of chances in them, and it'll be a really good sort of betting meeting, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. Clint, I'm going to go race 5, Karma. I think he's going to be very hard to beat, but I'm not disagreeing with Patcha Theatre. He can win. I think it's a 2-horse race, one of them. He trialled extremely well. His second up record is extremely good. He's going to sit back and be very hard to beat. And there's also a nice horse in called Packing Hermond, which is later in the day. He's in race 8. He's drawn wide, but he looks a nice horse, Clint.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, so Packing Herman's worth following as well. When we get to race number 8, and maybe put Patch of Theta in there with Karma as well as a nice little cue. Golden Boy, busy show, star power guest, but no bigger star than you.
Good luck on the weekend, everyone, and hope you all win.
Yeah, it's going to be a beauty, Hutch. Well done to you and the team. Hope you enjoy the show. See you next week.